The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good. How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Good morning, I'm Nico Haan. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, wild world.
That's right, Nico. Good morning. I'm Paige Clarke, and this is where we recover our natural health and regain our rights and our freedoms.
That's right. It's a beautiful day in downtown Clearwater, or St. Pete. Boy, that's the first time I missed that. St. Pete, downtown St. Pete.
I do like driving down and seeing the sunrise as we get here.
Yeah,
nice.
77 degrees, clear skies. It's beautiful. The sun's just coming up, which is really nice. I think in a few months coming, we'll see that sun coming up. And
even more so.
Yeah.
Hey, make sure you subscribe to our Health Signals newsletter. News you can use to stay healthy, live longer, stronger, healthier, wealthier. Health Signals newsletter delivered right into your inbox twice a month.
Yeah, and this we have this article about Monsanto to pay the $289.2 million in this lawsuit. Explains the whole thing.
One of 5,000 lawsuits that are in the kitty.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
hope
so
it
that's
sets a
huge.
precedent
Yeah, I hope it does too.
for the Monster Santo.
That's right.
Yes.
And please pick up our Primal Edge if I can click to it.
Yeah, the Primal Edge is our multivitamin, multi-mineral that's powered by nature's miracle molecule, fulvic and humic
I
acid.
lost the image.
And I'm really excited about, when we mentioned those two things, Nico, as we know, we have been sourcing the Primal Edge for 6 years or so.
Yep.
And we researched a product that we thought could really benefit the masses. And I was so passionate about having fulvic and humic acid in that product.
Well, that's really what makes it different from everything else.
Well, what you're finding is that the research is extensive about how fulvic and humic acid has an intelligence to get the good stuff in.
And the bad stuff out.
And I want to preface that as we opened up with the Monsanto article. Another product that we recommend to our listeners is the Biomedic, and that is from Purium Health Products. It is the only patented product to bind and reduce glyphosate 75% in the blood. And if you don't realize it, we all have glyphosate in our blood as a result of this prolific spraying of the Roundup product in raising crops. And it also lowers C-reactive protein. So it's interesting that one of the key ingredients in the Biomedic is fulvic and humic. So again, the people that are aware of how to really help the body get rid of the things it doesn't need and absorb the things that it does, the studies have proven that fulvic and humic, minerals, chelating agents from ancient seabeds all over, they really work.
Yeah, they really do.
And I call it a life insurance policy.
Yeah, and of course we have that discount thing from your site, special discount, and some
It's a
people
gift
are
card.
asking me what is the link. The link is right on this page here. If you get the newsletter, you get the link. If not, you have to.
If not, just go to iShop Purium, iShop
Or
Purium.
just contact
Or
Paige
contact
and
us. That's exactly right. And you can reach us at paige@tfnn.com.
and Nico at TFNN.com. So I want to talk about your trip. Welcome back.
Well, I tell you, it feels like I've been gone forever. It was 2 weeks.
Yeah, and it's different 2 weeks, isn't it, than just taking like a weekend or maybe even a week?
Very true, Nico. You and I were talking about it. Sometimes it really is important to disconnect, and it takes a little while.
Yeah.
But if you remember, I flew to L.A., and I was in the Santa Monica area, and I met with Dr. Dean Howell, who does neurocranial release. And this is very profound work. He's been doing it, it's his life's work, and he's a naturopathic doctor, and he actually sees patients all over. Saw him for 4 days before my seminar, because I'm going to be doing some things that we'll share with the listeners to expand my palate and jaw related to TMJ and breathing issues that I think result from bad choices recommended by dentists and orthodontists from childhood. So that's very interesting, and I think more people suffer from these issues as they get older than we know, and young children are suffering, so it needs to be taken care of. So I'm exploring that, and I'm getting some good results with that. Then I went to the Purium convention.
Oh.
And that was absolutely amazing, and met the founder, Dave Sandoval.
Was that in L.A. also?
It was in Anaheim.
Anaheim, okay.
So had to cruise up to Anaheim.
Down.
That's right, down or over. Yeah. No, I went to San Francisco. I was in L.A. So I kind of went over.
Yeah, kind of over.
Well, I'm not great on my Western geography. I apologize. And that conference was super. We, you know who was there? Jeffrey Smith of Environmental Working Group. So Jeffrey Smith, by the way, we've read you some articles and some update. Environmental Working Group basically is the site that companies send their products to prove that they're not tainted with GMOs, etc. And I had no idea, but Jeffrey Smith is an independent distributor for Purium. That speaks volumes.
Oh, wow.
And believes very highly in the biomedic. You know, basically when you are researching other people's products to see if they truly are what they say, and then you find a company and you say, this company has what they say, that speaks a lot.
Well, I've been recommending Purium, the CBD oils, and several friends of mine have commented on one guy does a lot of construction work and carpentry work. He's always aching and everything like that. And he says, it didn't work in the beginning. It took about 10 days to 2 weeks, and then it started really making him feel better. Hasn't helped him sleep as much yet, but it does ease, you know, when he gets up in the morning, all of a sudden he says he gets up, goes to the bathroom, he goes, whoa, wait a minute. I'm not stretching and going, and everything. So these products do work. I've been
Have
taking
him
it
add
down.
the apothecary at night.
Okay.
So you put the apothecary, open up the apothecary, keep it in the fridge, you do a little shot glass of it, whether you like it straight, it's almost like a delicious syrup.
Do you get that from Purium also?
That's Purium. It's called the apothecary.
Okay.
Cherries, tart cherries, are one of the highest antioxidant foods on the planet. So at night before you go to bed, you're going to get some repair, but they also contain natural melatonin. And so what's happening is, you know how you used to always say that you do a shot of honey?
Yeah.
Okay, well, get your little sweetness out of the tart cherry. I mean, it's kind of a tart sweet.
I love cherries, and I love the tartness of fruit. That's always draws me to fruit instead of the
You're going to
sweetness.
love it. You're going to notice a deeper sleep within just a very few days.
So you could just get black cherry juice, organic, maybe?
Why would you do that when Purium has it?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you know, when you can, and my point is, it's organic. I mean, yeah, but you can go to on the grocer's shelves. I can't vouch for whether or not you know what the potency is. You'll notice that this is a very tart, almost like a syrup.
Sure.
It's like a syrup.
Makes sense.
But yeah, you can do the research. It also helps people with gout.
Huh.
Because it's anti-inflammatory. So it's an anti-inflammatory, has natural melatonin, so you're not taking a synthetic. But it's all good. And then after that, we'll have to open up with the second half of the trip.
Yeah, I want to hear about the trip for sure.
Okay.
And your son.
All right.
Okay, folks, we'll be right back. So stick around. Please pick up some Primal Edge, and of course, pick up that newsletter right now. We've got all these coupons in here, so take advantage of that. We'll be right back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back to the show. Yeah, I want to hear about your trip as far as you going up into the mountains and things
Yeah,
like
so
that.
after the Purium convention, which like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed, I flew out to Lake Tahoe to spend a week with my son,
Austin.
And boy, I was so impressed with how he knows his way around there. He knows all the great trails. We hiked Mount Rose. You may or may not know that Mount Rose is the tallest mountain that's right above Incline Village.
Okay.
And at the top, it's close to 10,000 feet.
Wow.
And we went up there, and when we got up to the top, we started to see some thunderclouds. It was kind of nice, because by that time we were hot, and all of a sudden this huge hailstorm started.
Oh, wow.
And I was so proud of Austin, because he was carrying quite a heavy backpack, his like little survival stuff. He had like a little, a warming lean-to type thing,
Right.
you can put over to keep yourself warm. But we used it as a
As a shield.
yeah. We got underneath a tree, but the hail was like the size of like a gumball.
Oh, really? Wow.
They were quite big.
Yeah, we saw a little bit in Colorado, but it was just, we were coming down off the mountain, it was just little pillowy stuff.
Oh, yeah. And Lake Tahoe, guys, it's just absolutely beautiful. I enjoyed swimming. He took me over to the east side where most of the parks are. There's no residential living there, and there was a beach called Chimney Beach because someone had built a chimney on the beach.
Really?
And we jumped off the big rocks, and then we went tubing down the Truckee River on the last day. We had a great time. I love my son. He's my buddy. We had a good time.
So hiking in the mountains is where it's at, right? Yeah.
To me, it is. I'm a mountain girl. I was originally born in the mountains, so I miss it. And I mean, I love Florida, but I can tell you that I'm a little tired of Florida, especially between June and October.
Sure. That's when
I'm
the
kind of
heat
tired
is.
of it.
Yeah, and we're shut indoors, kind of like up north. We used to be shut indoors during the cold, and now we're kind of shut indoors a little bit. Not as much.
I really noticed the difference when I got off the plane, the thickness and the humidity of the air.
Yeah.
And realized it, and because I really enjoyed it. I did catch my little cold, kind of drug that back. I'm sure it came from the plane. But good to be home now.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you back, too. It's kind of lonely here when I'm by myself.
It's nice to be missed. Well, hey, let's talk about this. You know, this is an interesting
Well,
subject.
the reason I put this subject up and what we're going to be talking about is, are organ meats good for you? I was at the dentist yesterday, and I was talking to my hygienist, who was doing a great job on my teeth and stuff, and we were talking, and we really hadn't talked about food or anything like that, and I told her, I says, you know, I do a show on food and stuff like that, and she's, you know, she wants to lose some weight, and I says, you know, if you eat natural food and you eat the way we do, you kind of just normalize. Mm-hmm. She says, normalize? She says, I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
The thing is that, you know, the reason people are heavy here in the United States is strictly because of the way our food is being brought to us and manufactured.
Yeah, it's like I always say, Nico, and I know you agree. Inherently, it's not there's anything wrong that there's a good food and a bad food. It's what we do to the food.
It's what's done to the food, and it's what's done to the animals, of course, too. We got into that a little bit, but one of the things I mentioned, she was surprised. Well, I did mention to her Weston A. Price, who, of course,
has studied traditional cultures.
Yeah, and it always astounds me that people in that field, in dentistry, don't know about Weston A. Price.
And yet he was the president of the then ADA, the National Dental Association.
Yeah, so I told her to do some research on that, and I told her, I says, you got to remember that if you go out in the woods, there is no fruits and vegetables. And if there are a few wild ones, then they're in season only. And they're probably real charts. You probably won't like them, and you probably won't know which ones to pick and what to do with them, because they look a lot different than the food we have today as far as plant food is concerned. So I was explaining that our ancestors probably ate mostly just animal meat.
Well, let me just make a little comment there. It's kind of interesting that you brought this up, because on my plane ride back, you know, the second leg of it, you know, was just shy of 4 hours. And I'm going through the movies, and I see Dances with Wolves, 3 hours and 20 minutes.
Wow.
And they're, you know, I don't know what it is. I told you when I had my ancestry test done and I found out I was not Native American, I was so mad because I was convinced that I had Native. I actually used to tell people I thought it was.
It'd be a proud thing to have, for sure.
Exactly. But what was very cool about that was we saw how the Lakota Sioux actually just revered the buffalo.
Yeah.
And in one of the scenes, one of the real brave braves, you know, did with the buffalo offer the heart as a, you know, bonding with Kevin Costner. And you saw that they definitely, that was the most important thing, was the organs. And then you saw that they utilized their fur.
Every single piece. Yeah, and to us, if we talk about eating from nose to tail, we're just talking about eating the flesh and stuff. We're not talking about the carcass and the bones, what we would do with those things, because most of the time we would throw these things away.
I think a chicken is closer to
maybe
our attempt to eat that, you know, I mean.
Because we eat chicken livers and the skin and stuff like that, and
And then we use the bones for soup, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely so. And you know, so one of the things that I told her, I says, you know, our ancestors ate everything from the animal, from head to toe, and this is where most of the missing things in. And the other thing, she says, well, don't we need plants? I says, of course we do. The animals that we're eating are eating the plants for us. And it just makes it's a nice sense. And we have such a distorted view of what food is and how we get food and the icky factor of it when we open up an animal. You know, I remember the first time when I dissected a frog when I was in chem class, you know, in biology, and everybody's squirming and things like that. I thought it was pretty cool. And you know, once you understand what's going on here, remember that we're talking about really humane ways of killing the animal, too. Where in the wild, if you know anything about the wild, most animals are eaten alive.
That's true.
So when you're talking about humanely killing an animal, we're the only ones that are doing that. There's no other animal out there saying, well, let's take it easy on this guy, because the snake will eat you whole.
Well, maybe a snake, well, yeah, that's true. Or doesn't a snake...
well, it squeezes it to death, but I've seen many times where you have the snake and you see the rat still moving inside.
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
Yeah, because it's hard to squeeze that small rat for a big python, maybe. But all the animals, you get bitten by a crocodile, he doesn't want to wait till you're dead. He is eating you right away. Same with a shark and things like that. And for sure, an animal like a lion will start gnawing on you while you're still alive. So I think sustainability and being really good with the animal and killing it humanely is a very important structure of what our ancestors used to do. They used to have rituals around these things.
Absolutely. And that's what I saw that with these very beautiful hearted people, in the movie. It just reminded me again that there was a reverence for the food and for the animals.
And for the land.
Exactly.
And it's another thing that our ancestors did too that really gets my goat in a sense, that we leave trash everywhere. The white man is a trashaholic. We take stuff, we throw it in. I remember when we first used to get on boats and stuff, you toss that beer bottle. Wow, there was so much water, and we know that all these boats out there, once they get 200 miles or maybe 50 miles offshore, they're dumping everything.
Oh, it's disgusting.
This is what we've done. And
which, by the way,
yes.
At the Purium Convention, Dave Sandoval says, see these? Say goodbye. No more plastic scoops, no more plastic containers. They're going to the Terra container, which is, like soft, collapsible, biodegradable delivery of the
people
products.
People are waking up for sure.
Yeah.
Well, stick
we'll
around, folks. I want to talk about these organ
Absolutely.
meats, and we'll be right back.
See you in just a second.
Yeah.
Would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And welcome back to Living a Primal Lifestyle. I want to thank John in the chat room for his nice comment. Paige and Nico, many thanks for your work. Well, we really appreciate you being a great listener. And the question was the Purium Conference. The company is called Purium, P-U-R-I-U-M. And the conference was called Purium Rise 2018. That was the focus of it, to rise up and let's make some changes. So let's get back to are organ meats good for you? Because for thousands of years, people across the globe have eaten meat, not only as a tasty food, but to boost energy and vitality, but they did it in a way of reverence and respect for the animal and the land, but especially where plentiful. Not only did they eat the flesh meat, but they would also consume the organ meats, such as the liver and kidney and even heart.
Well, also, they really actively sought out those things. So, in fact, they were going for that first, and the muscle meat was kind of like, maybe we'll eat this later, or maybe we'll give it to the dogs, because they really understood where the nutrition was. It's in these products here.
And again, as I mentioned, when I watched the movie Dances with Wolves, we really saw that demonstrated that they saw that as the energy source.
Yeah.
And some experts contend that the hunter-gatherers of past generations did have, and they did utilize the nose to tail, as Nico alluded to earlier, and they used everything they could from the animal that they hunted or raised for food. They used all of the pieces. They used the skin for their homes and their clothing. And, but by today's standards, some people might think this is unsavory or unsanitary, but perhaps this is not true at all compared to the way we're raising animals today.
Yeah, if you go to people's houses and they have somebody in there that's over 70, that person may be cooking these types of things because it's the older generation that is still using these things, where the newer generation probably hasn't even been into a butcher shop.
I think you're exactly right, And here's a note from Healthline. They said, today most animals are born and raised for their muscle tissues, the complete opposite upside-down world that we're in, like the upside-down pyramid. Organ meats are often overlooked, with most meat typically consumed as steaks, drumsticks, or ground into mince. However, hunter-gatherers didn't just eat the muscle meat. They ate the organs, they ate the brains, the intestines, and even testicles. In fact, the organs were highly prized. Organ meats can be a great addition to your diet. They're packed with nutrients such as vitamin B12 and folate. And they're also an excellent source of iron and protein. That's very interesting. B12 and folate, as we know, are critical B vitamins. And we have an epidemic of a shortage of these nutrients. And what has happened is we have found out that we're not eating the organ meats.
Yeah, and some people really don't understand this. They really think that these types of organs may not be healthy because of the function of them, because the liver is a filter. So all the stuff that's being left behind in the liver, they think would be not good because the liver is trying to get it out of your body.
However,
that's not the case.
That's not the case. No. And, Jack Cruz has taught me, he photographs his pictures of his oysters that he eats. He said, a lot of people will say that, an oyster or a mussel is a, filter organ. They are loaded with selenium and these nutrients that allow these animals and these organs to do their function. Critical nutrients.
And by eating them, we're really getting the benefit of that function in us. It'll strengthen our own liver and our own heart. And, so if you drink the blood from an animal, that's very, very healthy. This is something that the
Maasai tribe in Africa.
Tribe. Yeah, so there's a lot of cultures do that. If you start seeing what people do in different parts of the world who are still eating their natural food, like the steppes of Russia, and you find out they have 17 different kinds of cheeses. Some are liquid, some are crystal, some are spongy. So, they form this because they need to have this type of food. And sure, they could carry beans and things like that, but remember, beans and these things, and they're very important. I think if you're going to do any kind of prepping, get a bag of beans, get a bag of rice, because this stuff keeps forever. That's the beauty of it. And somewhere along the lines, when things get tough and you don't have the real good food anymore, these are the things that would save your life, and these are the things that have saved their lives. And this is how these items become the holy grail, let's say, the daily bread, the holy bread. This is why they're that, because they saved a generation somewhere along the line. And then we revere this. Hey, got to keep that bread. Never mind the meat, let's keep the bread. And sooner or later, when the manufacturers found out that now they can have food that stays on the shelf for years and years, this is the type of food.
It became a money
It became
grab.
the money thing. So what we really need to focus on here in the United States is a system that's based on health, not just the health saying that you don't have cancer, but the happiness of the people. This is in our Constitution.
That's exactly right,
So
Nico.
we need to have a plan of action that's based strictly on health, and everything else should be secondary. Instead, we have the money pushing everything else aside. It's all definitely pushing our health aside, but it's pushing the whole welfare and state of the people, mind, body, and soul. We're going down the tubes because of the system is so backwards. We really have to focus on health, and this is why I watch people like from the Zeitgeist movement.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is one of the guys, Peter Joseph. Look him up and see some of his talks, and this is what he's talking about. He says, I don't know how to get there, but this is what we have to do for sure.
That's
So let's
exactly
get
right.
back.
He's very observant. So getting back to why you want to eat organ meats and what the benefits are, here's a quote Nico and I were just talking about. While they may be the filters, they're not the storehouses of toxins per se. The organs exist to filter toxins, which means they remove toxins, which is why they store so many crucial vitamins and minerals that are needed to get the job done. So what are the types of organ meats and what are their nutritional benefits? Let's talk about the fact that they actually are storehouses of the major fat-soluble vitamins. Those are vitamins A, D, E, and K.
Yeah.
And
they're
they
so
have
dense.
important minerals. Exactly.
It's a really dense, it's much more dense. I mean, we see a nice dense piece of steak, but if we're talking about the liver, that is like 10 times more dense as far as nutrients are concerned. So you can eat a lot less of them. You don't need all this stuff.
Right, exactly. I agree. Thank you. So a lot of my clients, many of us have grown up in this. I think it's a lost art. I think that it was our great-grandmothers that were the last ones that really
Probably so.
they were given a spoonful of cod liver oil, and they were given a castor oil even maybe to clean you out a little bit,
Yeah.
and they were giving you some liver
Yeah,
and onions.
in fact, I still remember having that as a child.
Well, you're very lucky. My mom didn't like liver, and we knew it because we never had it, so we never really were served liver as children, and I feel that not to her, problem, but she just didn't know, and so we didn't have it, and I didn't raise my kids when they were little having liver, but now my grandkids, it's different. I want them to make better choices, and if you don't get fresh, clean liver, or you haven't acquired a taste for it, one of the things you can do is get grass-fed New Zealand liver and take it in a capsule, desiccated form in a capsule. And if you take maybe 8 capsules, it's equivalent to having an ounce of liver.
Yeah.
And that can be a really good thing. Sally Fallon of Weston A. Price, so she thinks it's a crucial food for both our new developing children, but also for the elderly, because they really need these crucial nutrients.
Yeah, well, liver is one of the most nutritious, being the detox organ called nature's multivitamin.
There you go, guys. And kidneys, which generally come in pairs and function as filters to filter out toxins and waste from your blood or the other organ. The heart pumps the circulation, the brain, and the tongue.
Now let's talk about the brain and the tongue, because that's very interesting.
We'll be right back after this short break.
Yeah, and meantime, pick up the Health Signals newsletter, please. We'll be right back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics, including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And welcome back. So we've talked about the liver, we've talked about kidneys and the heart, and these are some things that you may be familiar with. Some of the other things like brain, I don't know how many people have eaten brain. I don't remember ever eating brain myself, but it's really high in the omega-3s.
Yeah.
You know, we often talk about salmon and things like that, but of course the animals that are eating their natural food automatically will have the omega-3 ratio right on. Instead of skewed like if you're feeding them the corn or things like that. Tongue is another one. I've had tongue before. Very tasty, and it's really layered with some nice fat in there too.
The tongue is actually a muscle, but
Yeah.
it says it's a tender source of healthy fat. Actually, the tongue is our largest muscle, really, when you stop and you think about it.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, very, very interesting.
Yeah. Two other organ offerings with the names that might be a bit confusing called tripe, which is
The stomach
the
lining.
stomach lining, and I've had that before. And the other thing is called the
Sweetbreads.
sweetbread, which is the
Pancreas and the thymus. The
Okay,
thymus
the
being the
thymus.
immune system.
okay.
So we can look at these organs as stimulating rejuvenation through, you know, the same frequency. So when we have them, they're often recommended to kind of keep the immune system high, help keep the blood sugars balanced, and keep those organs and glands functioning. And the sweetbreads actually have a smooth. They're usually grilled or breaded and fried, but of course not in vegetable oil,
No,
but in a
definitely
lard
not.
would be the way to do it.
Yeah.
But you know, you've got that picture, Nico, which is some liverwurst.
Yeah.
And I do believe that we see that many of the Germanic or Northern European people who,
Yeah, I remember
who
liverwurst a lot.
traditionally eat a lot of sausages or prepared meats like this,
Yeah.
there's been this perception that they're unhealthy. However, the hot dog of the American ball
That's
field
unhealthy,
is
yeah.
most likely leftover scraps of stuff
Probably so,
with,
yeah.
with artificial flavoring. But the bratwurst and the liverwurst that you see in Germanic countries were actually processed through these precious organ meats, and I believe are one of the reasons we see these people having stellar health.
And there's stores in our area here that still have markets that people are making their own liverwurst and their own sausages and their own pepperoni, and they're still doing it. So you have to seek out these ethnic places like maybe a Polish deli or Italian deli. These types of people are still doing the same thing.
Yeah, they're continuing to do their traditional food.
Yeah.
And but it really is an important source of nutrients that you're not getting. And so if you're not eating organ meats, and I find that there's just very few people who are.
Yeah.
And this is very unfortunate, folks. Very unfortunate. And this could be one of the reasons that we rank flat out last. I saw Del Bigtree, you know, of the Vaxxed movie, talking about our new ratings and just the abysmal state of the health of the American people, especially like newborn babies and risks of making it out of the hospital. It's horrible.
Well, plus getting pregnant is a big thing now. If you can
even get pregnant,
yeah,
because
exactly.
of fertility.
So, yeah.
And these are known as traditional fertility foods because they're so dense with the nutrients that we need to make healthy babies. And it is worth your while to get the best you can. U.S. Wellness Meats, a great source online wherever you are. But like Nico said, seek out some of your local traditional stores and delis.
Now, meat has been really demonized, and fat has been really demonized for many, many decades here, about 50 years. We've been demonizing fat, but also right now the big movement seems to be demonizing meat itself, where there's a lot of things on YouTube now kind of disguised as here's a healthy way to eat, and then you find sooner or later through the thing that they're really talking about plant food and that you should be only eating plant food.
And you know, I want to say that. Let's just make that point here. For example, Purium is a vegan product line. And some people would say, well, that seems strange that you're... For me, I think that there are plant foods that can be medicine.
No doubt about it.
And can help you with some mineral balance. And one of the things we know that when you eat a broccoli with some grass-fed butter or some of those fat help you absorb those minerals. Yeah. So I'm always looking for ways to get this. I feel really good when I have some, but much of what's in Purium is spirulina, for example, which, you know, is a very protein-rich, but I'm just trying to say that we don't need to demonize animal foods and we don't need to demonize plant foods. Everyone has a right ratio for them. We just need to source them correctly.
Well, last week I was showing some YouTube videos of these girls out in like Indonesia and India, and they're actually they're making little YouTube videos, and I'm sure they're getting paid for that, which is great. And they're showing them what they do. They go out and fish for snakes or eels or things, and they spear them or they trap them. But then they just sit down and they cook them right there.
Right.
They're not gathering any vegetables.
Right.
They have a little bowl there with a little spice in it, or maybe they threw an onion or something in it, and they use that, just like you said. It's those nutrients that are in the vegetables that help the fat dissolve in your body, because they're dipping it in that, and then they eat it. But there's no apples out there or anything. They're just eating the fish or the eel or whatever, and that's their day.
I always liked it when you would say, you know, if you... And I pass no judgment on what people choose. I do try and share information about the fact that I have concerns that when people are not getting some of these healthy, I call them these nutrients that are not available in our plant foods. At the same time, I can see how many plant foods, and it's primarily the power of the pigment. One of my mentors, Jeff Primal, from my Qigong teacher, has done a lot of research on pigment that we get in food. Well, even the pigment in animal foods. I mean, the darkness, richness of the liver, for example. I think that those phytochemicals are actually medicines.
Yeah.
And what is pigment but wavelengths of light? And let's take it another step. Like Jack Kruse said, health is in light, not in food. This is where he gets some people, upset because he believes many of the food people are waiting on food to save them, and they're not getting their exposure to sunlight. Folks, get out in the sun, be outside, be outdoors, get proper exposure to nature, enjoy your food, understand that we need these things, but understand that it's really about the light, and I do believe that, Nico. And I actually think the power of pigment is you're actually getting some of those spectrums that we're missing.
Without the light, the plants don't grow and the animals don't grow.
Exactly.
So, right there, that's the key to life, for sure. Another thing that was brought up in the conversation with my hygienist was, of course, cholesterol. Aren't you worried because you're eating just animals?
They still believe that lie, huh?
Yeah, they still believe that, and we know for 20 years there's been a lot of good information about that. So I explained that different size and what they call the bad cholesterol, that's the cholesterol that's leaving the liver, I think, and how the sizes could be large or small, and you want the nice puffy sizes, but you don't want the dense, hard ones. But that's it. It's perception, and the perception out there is completely different than the perception that we have being in this kind of business for 10 years of really investigating what's healthy and what's not in food. And if you really do an honest assessment, you'll find that we get around to more of a primal looking type of situation where you're eating a lot of animal food, not in quantity.
That's exactly right.
But
and
just small portions.
I'm very suspect too, how, and when there was definitely a little different approach in California. People were talking about being sustainable and having a low carbon footprint, and we have a whole different perspective on that. But I really do believe that our government might be causing this little bit of guiltiness about eating meat because they know we are having climate change, but it's cooling, and there's going to be a food issue.
There definitely will be a food
shortage.
And it will happen again that these foods that saved our lives will probably save our lives again, and that's the bags of rice and the beans and those things which you can keep forever. So you get a bag of rice, keep it someplace where there's low humidity, and that bag of rice will be there 15 years from now if you need it. So real important to do that for sure, because there's no way you can keep enough meat anywhere when the lights go out.
Right.
That's going to be very difficult unless you've started drying this meat many, many times.
Oh, maybe like pemmican, right?
Yeah, certainly. There's ways of doing it for sure. And pemmican, I've still got some in the refrigerator from 5 years ago, and it's still as good as the day one. So.
Well, speaking of storing food and everything, probably in the next show or so, we need to talk a little bit about being prepared again and having a resource. We are entering hurricane season again.
Yeah.
We're going to hope and pray that we don't have the craziness that we experienced last year, and we hope and pray that we are spared as we so graciously were last year compared to so many of the other people.
Boy, I'm telling you.
I was watching a documentary on that the other day. It's amazing how it slips our mind, and you see the devastation that still exists.
You see what happened here, and then you see Puerto Rico, where they just got online again.
Yeah, it's been a year.
It's been a year.
And there's still areas that aren't.
Oh, sure.
We've got to take a break, but we'll be right back for our last segment. Stick with us, pick up some Primal Edge, get our newsletter, stay up to date. We'll see you in just a minute.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors.
And welcome back.
That's right. And, we were talking about how important it is to get right with the light. And sleep is important, that is for sure. When it comes to getting a good night's sleep, there are various factors that come into play. The room's temperature, the lighting, the noise, all these important. But the real question is, do you or don't you?
That's right. Do you sleep with clothes on or clothes off?
Are you naked?
Yeah.
And probably a little bit better situation if you are, as far as sleeping, or at least
I can't sleep
sleeping
with clothes.
without your underwear,
Yeah.
because we don't need to have any of those tighty-whities or constraining. Maybe we need some granny panties for getting that good night's sleep. We want some airflow. We don't leave
Yeah, I
things
have
alone.
pajamas, but I wear them before bedtime, not after, not during bedtime. So
That's right. Hey,
take a tip, sleep naked, folks.
that's right, guys, and we'll see you next show. Have a great day.
Have a great one. Bye-bye.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.